Out there, Rooster here in Tennessee. Got an interesting little setup we're going to do a test on here. This 16 pill C box is for Kevin. I've actually got two of these I need to do a video on. I had two customers order them kind of at the same time. So this one's for Kevin. We're going to test it at 15.1 volts, and it'll actually drop down to about 15 when we're keyed down. So we're going to be undervolting it. I always like to put that out there because if people see the output and they're like, man, I would pay expecting that thing to do just a little bit more power. Well, that's true because the C's really start taking off and doing considerably more power once you start getting over 15 volts. So even just going from 15 to 15.5, you'll see this thing jump up in power, but especially 16 volts, 16.5, things of that nature. So you can always make up for that by adding a little bit of extra drive into it. Today we're going to be hitting it with a Longhorn, which is not driving it hard at all. This one does about 300 average and between 7 and 800 PEP. Now, at 15 volts on this amp, I wouldn't be afraid myself to put in between 900 and 1,000 PEP. Now, given if we were at 16 volts, I would probably want to stick with, kind of the output power of the Longhorn. But, again, if you increase voltage, you don't necessarily have to put the same amount of drive into it. You don't want to put the max voltage and the max drive into the amp. You kind of want to do one or the other. If you're going to hit it with the max drive, hit it with the minimum voltage. If you're going to hit it with the maximum voltage, hit it with the minimum amount of drive. But anyway, about 300 average, 700-800 PEP is what we're going to be putting into it. 15 volts, so I would say we're running it kind of mild. We're leaving some watts on the table, but it should still be a very good demonstration of the amp. And we'll show how much current it's drawing. I think I've got the clamp meter slapped on out here. And we are testing it to a dummy load. So going into our gigantic bird dummy load. And that being said, we'll just kind of get on with the show here, and we'll see what this guy is capable of doing with what we're putting into it. So got the Longhorn, and we will key up. We're on average power. If I can zoom in here, 5,000 watt slug. Now, Carl, he always tests all these, by the way, guys. I just know stuff can happen in shipping, so I like to double check before the customer gets it. I'm not doing this because I, have any doubt that he's competent, but just always like to test after they're shipped down to me. Okie dokie. So we'll dead key. We're looking at the middle scale. That's like about a 600 watt dead key. Hello, audio. And going to about 1,600 average if you're looking at that middle scale. So right now, the way we're running it, we're seeing about 100 watts per transistor, which is kind of in loaf mode. These things will do, again, if we had the maximum drive or the maximum voltage going to it, you generally see about 150 watts per transistor. So, I'm just going to do some quick math in my head. I would easily say 2,000 to 2,200 average if we were hitting it with the maximum drive. PEP, again, looking at the middle scale. Hello, audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, audio 4K PEP, audio check 1 2 3, 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 audio. All right. So let's turn the P kit off before we forget. This meter reads a little stingy generally too. So just to keep that in mind. All right, let's stand up and see what we're doing on the clamp meter. If we can get over here in the darkness and take a look at it. Hello, audio. 260 at the highest. 165, 170 on a dead key. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. So you can see how the amp meter kind of corresponds to different tones as well. But that's it, guys. Again, there'll probably be another video on one of these here in a couple of days. Another customer friend of mine ordered one of these, and we'll probably test it with the same thing. Just pretty easy to test them with a Longhorn. Yes, could put a little bit more drive into it considering the voltage we're at, but still pretty damn good numbers out of it. That's kind of what I was looking to see. I was wanting to see around 4K out of it. with the Longhorn. So that's it, everybody. Appreciate it. Rooster in Tennessee, roostercb.com. Questions, comments, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. And if you're wondering what this thing could really do, probably PEP, before I cut the video, I would say 5K or so would be, max output, maybe a little bit more. But I would definitely say if you got it to 5K, that's kind of optimal numbers out of it. But again, just kind of cruise mode right here. All right, thanks, everybody. Rooster in Tennessee, roostercb.com. See you, bye.